injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident, they will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket. So when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
The Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine. Thanks for being here. Happy Wednesday to you. It is June 12th, 2024. And as always, we are presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. You guys, you're going to be out all weekend. It's going to be hot. You're going to be on your motorcycles, your scooters, your bicycles. Bad things are going to happen. Be prepared. Theadvocates.com, no matter where you hear us, no matter where you are, the advocates are there for you. You didn't deserve to get in an accident. You do deserve an advocate. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, and it won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. A lot to get to on the show today. But what?
I just can't believe we're going to talk about people getting gored today.
No,
we're
not. We're going to talk about Lee Greenwood today.
Yes.
Lee Greenwood is, in my opinion, responsible for some violence. And I don't know how you don't make a direct correlation between Lee Greenwood and people being attacked by large animals. I'd be pissed off too if I were that bull. I would. And it is remarkable video that we will show you. The persecution of Joey Chestnut. Listen, I don't like when people hold the nut down. I just think that is unnecessary violence against, one of the greatest nuts we've ever seen, and Joey. And I think that it's,
the ability to swallow so much meat the way he does is a true, American pastime.
That dude takes a lot of wieners, and to oppress the nut is just.
His ability with glizzies is unquestioned.
He is the king of glizzy slurping. And, unfortunately, those days are over now. And I just am, it hurts.
Bro, glizzy slurping.
That's what the nut does. And it hurts. From what he says.
Apparently.
I wouldn't know.
Right.
The pain of glizzy.
No, I guess not.
The nut. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll get there. Good morning. Let's give some shout outs before we talk about the death of the Big 12. Rip Steve Klauke. Yes, the great broadcaster of the Salt Lake Bees. His son is employed by the Utah Jazz. Steve Klauke is a legend in this town. He passed unexpectedly yesterday. There are no words that I'm going to say that could describe the impact that he had on baseball and really sports fans across the state of Utah. So rest in power. My guy, Steve Klauke, passed away yesterday. OG Gary, hello. Big Blue Horses, hello. Pootie, hello. Maury Alvarez, hello. Mr. Preston, hello. Mountain Mama, hello. I'm not fat. I am. That's not true. Lopes fan Gabe, hello. Good morning, everybody. Eric and Raleigh. Yay, Reddick. Is that a Laker reference?
Reddick.
Can we stop with the conspiracy theory BS on Dan Hurley? The guy said no. Like, if you read the comment section yesterday on YouTube, the conspiracy theories about how he just wanted to meet Jeannie Buss. Do you really think that Dan Hurley had to get into a negotiation with the Lakers to meet Jeannie Buss? It's not that hard. Well, maybe.
Well, actually, see,
Speaking of the nut,
stay hard.
He just was leveraging UConn. He never wanted to leave. He was at the Billy Joel concert, which I think is completely irrelevant. He said no. Why can't we just leave it at, he said no? Oh, that's right, MAGA.
hyenas.
Why is everything now a conspiracy theory?
It was a rigged hiring process.
Infowars.com.
It was, right? Oh, it was.
Yeah.
They found him guilty. Oh, that the justice served. Donald Trump's guilty. Rig system. There's not a conspiracy theory in everything. It's wild to me. Anyway, more about the nut coming up. Let's talk about the Big 12. Let me ask you something about Big 12 football. Can the Big 12 win big games? Because I don't think any of us question the impact that this football season's going to have. And if you look at some of these games and you look at the teams that are projected to end up at the top of the table in the Big 12 this football season, there is no question that the Utahs, the K-States, the Kansases, the Iowa States, and I think Iowa State's way under the radar, but I think Iowa State's critically important. Obviously, if you look at the state of Texas, I think TCU and Texas Tech are important. Okie Light, depending on which corner of the country you're in. There are some teams in this league that I think, without question, have to win 9 or 10 games to make this season viable for the Big 12. And with all of this seeming pressure, with all of the conversations about the Big 12 and its financial instability and can it survive, which again, I think is complete garbage. But here we are in 2024, and it seems like everything, again, is a conspiracy theory and the Big 12 is failing. They're not. I think this football season is critically important. The Big 12 has to get, in my opinion, at least 3 teams into the college football playoff. But can they do that? Does this league have 3 of the top 12 teams in the country? Can they do it? Can they have a presence? And I'll be honest with you, sitting here last night and this morning looking at schedules, I don't know the answer to that question. And we got some kickoff times that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But do you believe in the teams in this league? And Jake, I think, again, and I know that we are already probably pointing this show right at Oak State James.
Bet you weren't expecting this one.
But again, I think Oklahoma State sits right in the crosshairs of this conversation, because if Oklahoma State doesn't make the college football playoff, I think this league is going to struggle.
Well, and I don't think there's another team outside of Utah that you can expect to make the college football playoff in the Big 12. Now, are there teams that could overachieve and get in? Absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of question marks around, just like you said, like, K-State, Kansas, obviously Tech is a huge question mark. I think Deion in Colorado, nobody is sure what that's going to look like. We know it's going to be better, but we don't know how far that jump's going to be. We know that he's recruited in the trenches, but just how good can you be? So with all those question marks, Utah and Oklahoma State obviously remain the 2 that you have to have. And that's why I think that, Gundy and his program need to come through. It's not going to be good enough to have 8 wins. And I think that I would say the same thing for Cam Rising and Brant Kuithe. It's not going to be good enough to play 4 games and you're out for the season. That's not going to work anymore. I'm pointing this at Utah fan, man. Like, I'm tired of hearing about how Cam Rising and Brant Kuithe are these All-American players who are amazing and everything's awesome, but they're never available and don't win big bowl games. Like, I'm tired of that. Like, it's time to come through. It's time to step up and show that you can stay healthy. And I love them. I love their game. I love what they're capable of doing, but there is no getting around it. Like, the Big 12 needs Utah and Oklahoma State to be as reliable as possible. And then you need somebody to come out of the woodwork the way TCU did several years ago and be way better than anybody thought you were going to be.
Well, and I continue to I continue to point it at Oak State because I look at this graphic right here. And that October 18th game, that is at BYU. That's 8:15 Mountain, 9:15 Central. I think that's one of the most difficult games of the year. And I think if you look at the Arkansas game, notice the kickoff time on that game. It's 11 a.m. Central. Tulsa, notice the kickoff time on that game. It's 11 a.m. Central. At BYU on a Friday night at 9:15 Central.
At 4,000 feet.
Yeah, that's where seasons go to die.
Yeah.
You cannot lose that game. And I think that is one of those games where when we look at Oak State and we look at their schedule in totality, obviously the Arkansas game, huge game. But when is that game? 10 a.m.
Right.
Mountain, 11 a.m. Central Time. Right? And that game's in Stillwater. I look at the Utah game, to be determined. That's going to be a national TV game. Oklahoma State and Utah is a preview of the Big 12 championship game in some people's opinions.
Yeah.
That's going to be a national TV game. That BYU game, that's a huge game. Notice we didn't get TCU and Tech kickoff times for Oak State. We will. Notice at Colorado. And Colorado is a critically important part of this conversation
100%.
about the Big 12 winning games and being a prominent player this year. I look at things like Oak State at Colorado. That's a 10 a.m. kickoff for Colorado. You better win that game. And Mike Gundy has talked about he does not like nighttime football. Mike Gundy likes 11 a.m. kickoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Provo on a Friday night to die. You go to the mountains and you die. If you don't win that game, you likely do not play for a conference championship.
Well, and if you look at their schedule in totality, I mean, where does that game is right in the middle, is it not? If I remember correctly,
BYU is October 18th,
right in the meat of your schedule. So I mean, you look at the schedule and you know, if we go worst case scenario, you lost to Utah, maybe at West Virginia. That
West Virginia's in Stillwater.
Oh, it's in Stillwater. So yeah, I mean
their schedule comes down to that stretch of 4 games.
Yeah.
Utah at K-State, West Virginia at BYU.
Yeah.
And then you got to finish with 4 games that I think are going to be real ball busters, because I think Arizona State's going to be very much a try-hard team. They're not going to lay down. So you've got to go Arizona State at TCU, Tech at home, and then at Colorado.
I mean, say that, if we assume, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if just for example's sake, let's say Colorado's a 7-8 win team instead of a 4-win team. All of a sudden, that becomes a losable game at the end of your schedule. Now, they'll probably beat Colorado, let's be honest. They probably will. You would certainly expect them to.
You would certainly expect them to.
But, you think about, hey, we've had to grind through this football schedule. And if we go off of last year's behavior, let's say you drop a game in your first 4 that you shouldn't drop. Let's say you have a bad outing. You have the Will Howard game against Oklahoma State where he throws 4 interceptions uncharacteristically. Let's say Bowman does that and just throws one away. You can't have that this year. And that's kind of my point with Gundy and Oklahoma State. It's not so much that about like, hey, it's not the conversation we've been having of like, have they lived up to it or not? This is more about like, hey, we're in a season where there's a lot of change happening in college football. There's a lot of stuff at play, NIL, portal, lawsuits. Like there's all this stuff happening. And all we're asking Mike Gundy to do is go out and win 10 games. That's all I need you to do. Go out, win 10 games, win the conference, and do your thing.
But I think it is. I think it's more than that. I think that, again, Oak State James wants to DM me on Instagram and tell me, like, this is the problem with Oklahoma State fan. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. Everybody wants to talk about the fact that, Gundy is a loyal puppy. He's not great. He's loyal. So what is it? What is it? If Mike Gundy doesn't win 10 games this year, what is your excuse going to be?
Or what's the narrative that's going to make you feel better about it?
Because I got to be honest with you, looking at the projections, if you look at the boys in Vegas and where they have this league right now, there is no doubt that Oklahoma State at 7.5, that's their over-under.
That is.
So when all of you Okie State fans are in the fucking comments section losing your mind, telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and have you yesterday, Rodrigo or whatever the guy's name was, I think it was Rodrigo actually, telling me, have you studied our roster and our depth chart?
Watch Oklahoma State games, man?
Like trying to go deep and saying this is an undefeated Oklahoma State roster. They're projected to win 7.5 games. And granted, I'm taking the over on that.
I'm a man.
But you guys understand the under is minus 150? There's not a whole lot of confidence, right? And I understand that you've got Ollie Gordon. But if you're standing on business with Alan Bowman, you better take the under on 7.5.
Yeah.
You better take the under. And I look at some of the numbers in this conference. TCU 7.5, Texas Tech 7.5, UCF 7.5. Is that who we're really playing with at Oklahoma State? That's who we're talking about. You're in that same pool. Meantime, Utah's 9.5.
Right.
And 9.5.
Why is that?
And the over's plus 108.
And why is that? Because Kyle Whittingham has built expectation in his program. Right?
And he has his deepest quarterback room ever. With, you look at Heward and Wilson backing up Cam Rising, who has had a year off, and quite legitimately, I think he's a 7th-year senior. And now you start to understand why this team is so heavily favored in this league. Yet, you're asking me if I study the depth chart at Oklahoma State. Have you looked at what Kyle Whittingham's got on defense?
Yeah, I don't think it should be. And again, this is where we part company with, the Okie fans. I don't think it should be celebrated that you've got 20 of 22 back or whatever it is, for returning starters. Like I'm telling you right now that having your starters back is cool. That's okay. Great. You have some experience there. Like, okay, cool. But those players and that roster didn't do anything for you last year. You got to the championship game and got beat. And do I think a Utah-Oklahoma State championship game in the Big 12 would probably be more competitive than it was against Texas? Yeah, probably. But the problem with that is that Utah's defense is world class, right? I would take Utah's defense against pretty much every team in the country except for maybe 3 or 4. Like, that's how good they are, man. Yeah, they are that good.
I think it's going to be a compelling year. And I one of the questions I'd love to get going in the comments section, who's the dark horse in this league? Because I don't know that you can say that Kansas is a dark horse, but I think Kansas is going to be very good. I think that when you look at some of the things that Kansas has done, their number is 8.5 for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you have Jalen Daniels back, I think that you're going to have to figure out how to replace Kotelnicki. Obviously, that's a big deal for you lose your offensive guru. That's a big deal. But when you have Jalen Daniels, and who knows if he can stay healthy. I pretty much missed all of last year. If he stays healthy, that kid's a difference maker. And I think Kansas can be very good. Again, I'll sit here and tell you, I think Iowa State is going to continue to be overlooked.
Like, do you see what I mean? Iowa State's number is the same as Oklahoma State's number.
And they have Rocco Becht.
Like, that's what I'm
Yet
saying.
they're
like,
at 7.5.
I'm telling you, a lot of the numbers come down to perception versus what you actually did on the field. So what I mean is, like, Oklahoma State being at 7.5 does feel a bit light, but people don't believe in what's happening there. You haven't shown that year in and year out, you can go out and compete for that conference. And I think that people feel like, hey, you went to the championship game last year Is this the step back year? Is this, last year, you win however many you won. Is this year going to be a 7-win year, an 8-win year, like we've seen Gundy do so many times to Oak State James Point, right? Because that's the point. That's what Oklahoma State fan and Oklahoma State country are going to tell you. Hey, this guy's the pinnacle of having a winning record. Hey, we're going to win 8-9 games every single year, and that's going to be kind of our thing. But the problem with that is 8-9 wins this year isn't going to do anything for you. You're not in the playoff at that point. You obviously have not won your conference at that point. You're probably in just a mid-level bowl game at that point. Like, you're not doing anything. So if this conference comes down to Utah and I don't know, let's call it Kansas at 8.5, I think we just said. That's crazy to me. You can't have that. What you need is Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and then you need Colorado to just be relevant. Not a 9-win team, Colorado. Just be relevant. Just be that team in the conference that's a pain in the ass and wins a couple games this year that you shouldn't win. That's all you got to have.
Because I can't see West Virginia winning 9 games again. I can't see, K-State's very interesting. I think K-State is a fascinating team to watch this year. Vegas has them at 9.5, K-State. And obviously, Chris Kleiman is a wizard. You turned over a lot of that offense. And you look at Avery Johnson, and I understand that Avery Johnson is arguably one of the best dual threat young guys in the country.
Stay hard.
Totally understand that. 100% I understand that. But I look at some of these numbers and I say 9.5. I mean, if they win 10 games, Manhattan will burn. What is the party like after they win their 10th game?
So let's say it happens. Let's say that, K-State's got, let's say they're 10 wins. Okay. That definitely means that teams like Oklahoma State are not 10 wins then. If K-State's winning 10 games, they're beating people they should not beat.
And are you really going to do that with Connor Riley taking over the offense? And I mean, obviously,
it's an aggressive number.
I mean, I think it's a very aggressive number. You're losing a guy in Colin Klein that a lot of people believed was a driver. Obviously, he had to be a driver, but with an offensive line coach taking over your offense, are we really gonna that's? I think K-State's number is very lofty. But to the original question of can you expect 3 teams in the college football playoff? I would tell you right now, I don't think the bottom half of this conference all of a sudden takes some huge leap. But if you look at Utah, I would fully expect Kansas to be in the conference championship equation. I mean, of the teams that you look at in this conference, Utah, I mean, with Ollie Gordon there, I think you have to say Oklahoma State.
You have to.
I think you have to say Kansas.
Yes.
And then that 4th or 5th team,
it's K-State. I think it's K-State.
But how do you not say Iowa State? That defense is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How is Iowa State? If Iowa State does not find itself in a November game of heat, right? Where holy shit, if we win this game, we could. If we go to Salt Lake City and we can find a way to beat Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadium, which, granted,
good luck.
I'd rather chop off my toes than try to beat Kyle Whittingham at home in November.
All gas, no break.
That is an awfully big ask. But if they win that game, are you telling me? I mean, they're in the conversation. The problem is, has anybody looked at the schedule for Iowa State? Sure, North Dakota, Iowa's at Iowa is never going to be that game is always,
you never know,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Arkansas State, what has Willie Fritz got at Houston? Who here is a Houston believer? At the bottom of the board in this conference, obviously you find yourself talking about BYU, Cincinnati, Houston. What is Houston going to be this year? Because I'm not sure. I cannot sit here and say, is this a 7-win team or is this a 3-win team? I think that's a huge question.
Well, and the other thing, when I think about Houston and I think about them moving on from Dana, like you that program, it's always about how many games you win, of course, right? Like obviously that's the easy measuring stick for a program like Houston, but for Houston this year, I think it's more about, are you playing more competitive football? Like last year and the couple of seasons Dana was there, it just didn't pan. It just didn't feel like Houston was like this team that really had a great shot. Like they were in some games, but you always felt like, yeah, they're going to find a way to mess this up, or like they're not really going to be a threat. Like they were just that team that you knew wasn't going to do a whole lot. And like I say about any conference in college football, the bottom end of your conference has to has to put out. They have to be good enough to challenge the top teams in the football game. They may not win those games, but you need to be good enough to push those teams, because ultimately when Buddy, the AP voter, is on the East Coast or covering MLS in Minnesota, and they watch SportsCenter and see all the highlights, they're going to want to see a big play to win a game in a clutch moment. And that's what your bad teams can provide you in a conference. Like, one of those big moments.
Yeah, well, they miss the biggest brands in the conference. There's no doubt about that. When you don't have to play Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, I mean, that is
huge.
That's huge. And I think their number, I think, is 4.5 in Vegas. It doesn't help that you start with a primetime game against UNLV. That's not ideal.
We're going to find out real quick.
And I mean, obviously, you get a break when you go to Oklahoma in week 2. Hi. But then you get Rice at home, at Cincinnati. Those are 2 games that you're going to be in. You're probably going to beat Rice. But then Iowa State, at TCU, at Kansas, Utah, K-State, at Arizona, Baylor, and you finish at BYU.
So for Houston, this is exactly what I'm saying.
But you miss the toughest brands in the conference, arguably, yet you have one of the most difficult conference schedules, I think, of anyone.
So you don't win a game till week 3, let's assume.
You're 0-2.
You're 0-2, so then you're 1-2, and then you're probably not going to win another game until you get to the back quarter of your season. And that's what I'm saying. The win-loss number for Houston is not one that I would be trifling with if you like to have some money on this stuff. I would stay away from that. I would more be on because the Big 12 has always been, at least in my time watching college football, a chaotic conference on the field. There are just some games you never know what you're going to get. And
Houston, Texas last year. Houston
Texas,
almost beat
right?
Texas.
Like, see, that's exactly what I'm saying, right? Like Texas is this juggernaut last year.
Yeah.
And they had this adventure against Houston. And that's why I say, I just think for Houston, it's not about the win-loss total per se. It's about, hey, against Utah, are we in that game, or is that we lost by 4 possessions in the first half and we're never in it? Like, I want and need Houston to be better. I want and need UCF to be better. Now, it would help if UCF's quarterback could stay healthy and they could stay healthy and compete. But
that'd be ideal.
Like BYU, right? We need Jake Retzloff to come out and have a year. We need Kalani and that defense to have a year. And that's why I'm saying there's big upside potential in the Big 12. There's a lot of brands in this conference that could be 5-6 win good. There are. But it could also be, hey, huge letdown. Daniels at K-State at Kansas gets hurt. The K-State offense doesn't come through in year 1 after Will Howard. Alan Bowman gets hurt early in the year, and they're playing with a backup in Ollie Gordon. And hell, Utah, Cam Rising, the knee lets him down, and he's off to the NFL.
The knee lets him down.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of. It's a very volatile. Volatile might be the best way to describe the Big 12. It could be a great year and a lot of teams overachieve and everything's awesome, but it could also be a really bad year. And I think that the SEC and the Big 10 don't deal with this because they have the top tier brands in the
100%.
country. So they have that built-in reliability, but the Big 12 doesn't necessarily have that right now, which again brings us back to the beginning of the conversation, which is you need Utah and Oklahoma State to be reliable. And whatever you get after that is a cherry on top.
Totally agree. This hour of the show presented by Milwaukee Tools. Proud to have Milwaukee Tools on board the show this hour. You guys are celebrating 100 years at Milwaukee Tools, and they say they're just getting started. It is Father's Day. Give the gift of Milwaukee Tools to your dad. It's what he wants, right? You look in the tags below, you'll see right there that there's a tray that shows all the Milwaukee Tools. You guys, they have great combo kit deals for you. Save $30 on their Milwaukee M18 cordless lithium 2-tool combo kit. All of the things that dad wants for Father's Day, they're tagged right below. Click on those. Hook your dad up. Milwaukee Tools celebrating 100 years in the business. Got to love Milwaukee Tools. You know what it is with Milwaukee. It's always quality. You can rely on their durability, their longevity. You invest in a Milwaukee tool, you can be confident that your dollar is well spent because those tools are going to be in your family for a decade. That's what you count on at Milwaukee Tools. It's what's powered Milwaukee for 100 years and hopefully 100 more. This hour of the show brought to you by Milwaukee Tools. Let's get into the comments section here on the Monty Show. Sleepers. Right now, in the comments section, who's the sleeper?
Colorado.
You think it's Colorado?
I think that Colorado is not going to be in the win the conference conversation, right? They're not that
okay.
good.
No, they're not.
I think that Colorado can be the end your season team. I think that if you look at Colorado's schedule and when the big games, show up for them, if they are better in the trenches as the portal and as the hype says, if they actually have a reasonable offensive line and they're able to stop the run on defense with their defensive line, I think Colorado could potentially be good enough to have a 7-win season, which I think would be a tremendous improvement in year 2 of the Dion experience. And I know everyone hates on Dion. I'm not saying they're the best thing since sliced bread.
Feinbaum went after him the other day.
Yeah, but I think that I'm telling you, Dion understands the expectations and what needs to take place this year, and I do think he sees just how damn good Shedeur is. Like, and if you haven't watched Shedeur and you don't understand his skill set, he has a cannon. He has a great feel and great touch.
He'll be one of the top quarterbacks off the board a year from now.
Yeah, he'll be in the Heisman conversation, I would guess. Like if all things go as they should, I like Colorado to be a dark horse to go out and be the season wrecker in the Big 12 for the big boys.
Yeah, I think there's no reason to believe, based on, the portal, based on the recruiting that they've done. They clearly lost some talent, but I also think they gained some talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their defensive and offensive line is significantly better. I think I would pick Houston, but I think Houston's schedule is just such a ball breaker. And it's why I'm going to go with the boys and Ames. I think Iowa State is that team that nobody's talking about. Nobody wants to talk about.
Totally agree.
And I think, and if we talk about, underdog, if I look at the projected win totals for Iowa State, 7.5. And I'm sitting here looking at Iowa State's schedule. I think they start the year 7-0, and then you wind up with Tech because they're better than, obviously, North Dakota. They're better than Iowa, though that game's in Iowa City, but I think they win that game.
Give it to them, yeah.
They're better than Arkansas State. They're better than Houston. They're better than 8-ball at Baylor. And I think the real question is, does Neil Brown need fired at West Virginia? Because they got to go to Morgantown. They got to go to Morgantown on October 12th. Yeah. They should be 6-0. And then they get the great fortune of not going to the bounce house. UCF comes to Ames. I think they're 7-0 going against Texas Tech. Again, it's November. It's in Iowa. I think they beat Tech. They're 8-0.
Yeah, call it 8-0. First loss is Kansas.
They go to Kansas, which Obviously, it's not in Lawrence, but you're still playing a Kansas home game.
Yeah.
Cincinnati,
That's a loss.
they're
Yeah.
9-1 against Cincinnati. They're 9-2 after they lose in Salt Lake City. And then I think they have the potential to win 10 games if they can beat K-State in Ames to end the season on November 30th.
Yeah.
I think Iowa State is that team that could find themselves in the conversation for a conference championship appearance if Mike Gundy falters. Because I think there's no doubt in this observer's mind, Utah's got the path to the conference championship game pretty well laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at this schedule for the Utah Jits.
Yeah.
Southern Utah, 8-ball in Salt Lake City, at Utah State.
Aggie Tears.
They're 3-0 after the Aggie Tears flow. And then you go to Stillwater.
So let's say they beat Okie State. So you're 4-0.
Do you fire Mike Gundy that night?
No.
It's more.
Dude, you need to understand, dude. He's not going to get fired unless he shaves his head.
It's more hype. But I mean, it'd be different if Mike Gundy had a lot of resources and money. Oh wait, he does. That's right.
I mean, if Mike Gundy turned into Mike 8-ball Gundy, then I think he's in danger of being fired.
Do you force him to shave his head if he loses to Kyle Whittingham in Stillwater? And who is going to do the wellness check on Oak State James if they lose that game? Because Alan Bowman, again, I understand that I'm not going to make no Rudolph jokes.
Brandon Whedon, but he'll do.
At Arizona, I think they are 5-0. Or home for Arizona, I think they're 5-0. Although the Fighting Fafitas, people have them winning 8 games.
Yeah, you're going to have to prove that. They're 5-0.
At Arizona State, they're 6-0. TCU at Salt Lake City, 7-0. At Houston, 8-0. The BYU game is a toss-up. It's at Rice Eccles.
Let's say they lose that game, just for conversation.
8-1.
8-1.
At Colorado.
You got to give it to them. I can't see them losing to Colorado. I just can't.
9-1. Iowa State, 10-1.
No, let's say they lose to Iowa State.
They're not going to lose to Iowa State. 10-1. At UCF is the game that scares me on their schedule.
So how are you going to say Iowa State's a dark horse to win 10 and then say they're just going to auto beat Iowa State?
Because you don't come to Sac Lake City and expect to win games. You don't. I think you favor Utah in every home game. And if we're talking about are they going to win or are they going to lose, they're going to beat BYU and they're going to beat Iowa State. And that game at the Bounce House, dude, your balls are going to be sweating.
What happens if Cam Rising gets hurt? Then what?
They have depth, and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. They have depth.
Yeah.
I mean, Heward is a really nice pickup for Kyle Whittingham. And obviously, Isaac Wilson, hot mom or not.
He's no Zach, but he'll do.
I mean,
Yes.
He has depth in the quarterback room for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
Quality, throw from the pocket depth. Now, Sam Heward, what is he? I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But what he is a quarterback at Utah who has great potential. Isaac Wilson's clearly going to be the 2 here.
Yeah.
Cam Rising, I think, knows he's playing for his football future. I think he probably stays healthy. I think that defense is elite. I don't see Utah losing at Rice Eccles Stadium this year. I don't. I think their home schedule is Southern Utah, 8-ball from Waco, Arizona, TCU, BYU, and Iowa State. And
I don't know. I think that Iowa State game is going to be a fight.
Don't fuck.
I get it. It's at home. You think that's an auto win? I don't think that's an auto win.
I don't think there's no such thing in this conference as an auto win. But what is Utah missing that everybody else has? Really difficult long stretches of ball breaking schedule. And you look, what is their toughest stretch? Arguably, it is Utah State, at Utah State, at Oak State, Arizona, at Arizona State. I think that is their most difficult stretch. Because if we go past that, TCU in Salt Lake City, difficult game. They're better than TCU. At Houston, BYU, at Colorado. Those are, in my opinion, BYU and Colorado are rivalry games. And you finish that with Iowa State and UCF. If you value BYU and Colorado, that's a tough 4-game stretch to end the season. But again, your two most difficult opponents are probably Iowa State and Oak State. You get Oak State early in the year, so let's say they lose to Oak State. They still have time to recover. That's a September loss. September losses generally aren't going to keep you out of the college football playoff, especially if you win the conference and you're in.
Yeah, ask Alabama.
So we're in this place where I think Utah is ideally set up with the schedule to win double digits. Potentially, this is a schedule, and I don't mean to say it out loud.
Monty, you're drinking the red Kool-Aid now. Come on.
This is a schedule that Kyle Whittingham could go undefeated with. The schedule sets up that way. Now, I think Brant Kuithe has to be All-American. He has to be an All-American. He's too good. We need to see the top end of Brant Kuithe at Utah. And if Cam's healthy, Brant Kuithe's healthy, I don't see any reason this team can't be a one-loss or an undefeated team.
Mm-hmm.
That defense, it's Kyle Whittingham. The defense is going to be phenomenal. This is a schedule where my expectation is they're one loss or undefeated. And my expectation is that Kyle Whittingham is going to go into Stillwater and stop the run and make Alan Bowman beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck trying to beat Utah by throwing the football over the top. Now, graduation in the back end, absolutely, that's true. But again, that defense is projected to be elite. So,
yeah.
They've got to stay healthy on offense. And Brant Kuithe, I think if Brant Kuithe is everybody's All-American, this team's undefeated.
I agree that they do have one of the easier schedules. The way it's built, who they're playing, when they play them, because
you don't have the bullshit hanging over the Utes anymore. You don't have all this nonsense about when are we going to get Cam, where's Brant, like who's this,
it's very
your mom's
simple.
cousin.
It's very simple.
None of that. Cam Rising's the starting quarterback. Brant Kuithe's ready to rock and roll. There's no controversy. There is. It's been a very quiet summer.
Good.
Which is exactly what we all wanted.
It's about time.
Very quiet summer. Very quiet summer.
I remember, during this past season, we had people reach out to us and ask us, like, where is Brant Kuithe? Like, obviously he's injured, but dude's like disappeared.
When's he coming back? When's he going to play? Where's Cam Rising?
Like, I'm telling you, I have no doubt that they're going to come out and ball out in the first quarter of the season.
I don't have any doubt at all.
My only doubt, or not even doubt, just question. I'm just interested to see, do they hold up? That's my only question. Because I will say, and again, they're young, right? Like, you would expect them to hold up. But when you haven't played a game in how long, being in football shape is different than being in weight room shape, is different than being on practice field
right.
shape. So, that first time you get popped, Cam's a gamer. He's a dog. We all know that. But does he just pop back up, or what's that look like? And how is he affected? And that's the stuff I'm going to be looking for when I watch Utah. Because I don't care who you're a fan of in the Big 12, right? Like if you're a Tech fan, TCU fan, whoever's your team, the Utah Utes is a team that you want to watch. You want to find a way to catch some of their games, and you want to understand, okay, hey, like for Gundy Nation, you're going to want to watch some of the Utah games because you want to understand, hey, what do we need to do to compensate for this?
Well, what did we talk about yesterday that lit Oklahoma State fans on fire? My Alan Bowman came out of the transfer portal, you prick. Okay. Okay. Monty's a prick. We all agree with that.
Monty's about Alan Bowman, okay?
But what is the biggest issue? If I said to you, what do we have to figure out on Utah's defense? Well, I don't think there's any doubt losing Cole Bishop, Vaki as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that anybody appreciated Vaki's contribution outside of Sac Lake City.
Right.
But you went out and got Cameron Calhoun and Keenan Johnson out of the portal. The transfer portal.
Is that the real thing?
The transfer portal. And I think Jonah Ellis, who had 12 sacks last year, I think Logan Fano, my guy Logan Fano.
It's time.
And I've talked about this guy, and what did he do? He tore his ACL again last year. But Logan Fano's a double-digit sack guy. Logan Fano can ball. That dude can play. And it's now his job, and he's got to produce. Period. End of story. I think they are going to be the best defense in the Big 12, bar none. And I'm talking about Iowa State. I'm looking at you, Ames. Damn it. They're going to be the best defense in the Big 12. And I think they have the weaponry on offense finally. One loss or undefeated. Anything else is going to be pretty disappointing. Going to be pretty disappointing. And you have, I'm a big believer in momentum in a football season. You have games spread out. You have the Oklahoma State game early. You've got the BYU game late. You've got the Iowa State game late. Those games, Oak State on the road, early momentum, you go into Stillwater and win that game. You beat BYU, the state's lit, you're undefeated. See what I mean? Like the schedule sets up for a reality series.
Yeah.
Then we find ourselves at AT&T Stadium and we're playing this, and then we're in the college football playoff, and BYU's not, and Utah is, and this is Big 12 country, and we put up billboards and shit, and it's going to be amazing. That's all possible for you. That's all possible for you. Your guy on TikTok. Don't f it up.
Yeah.
Right? That's all possible for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the comments section here on the Monty Show, presented by our friends up at Canyons Golf in Park City, the official golf club of the Monty Show. Of course, is Canyons Golf. It is going to be hotter than Hades today and tomorrow here in Utah.
I roll out of the crib at 4:45, 4:50 today. Yeah, it's already 71 degrees.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know. And again, this isn't Phoenix.
What are we doing?
This isn't
what are we doing?
This isn't South America hot, but 100 degrees in Salt Lake is hot, dude. It's cooking.
The forecast 99 today, 101 tomorrow, 94 on Friday, and then it cools off. But the great thing about Canyons Golf in Park City, the high today is 88. Saturday, it'll be 79. Sunday, it'll be 80 degrees, and I will be there basking in the awesome draw off the driver. It's going to be amazing. I love Canyons Golf. It is resort-style golf in the mountains of Park City. It is cooler than in the valley, and the best part about it is you can get tee times fairly priced, which is becoming a challenge here in Utah. You want a tee time? Do you guys understand that you can play Canyons Golf for the exact same price that you pay Mountain Dell at the bottom of the canyon? And Mountain Dell you're playing on concrete. At Canyons Golf, you get lush fairways. You get beautiful greens, the cuffs, the collars, the rough. It's a playable course. Now, you got to drive the ball well, and you got to putt well, but that's every golf course, right?
I would say that the views you get at Canyons are superior. And furthermore, I would also say that the customer service you get, the experience they provide you is superior. I'm talking about everything from the quality of the cart to the person that walks up the stairs, grabs your bag, loads your cart up for you.
That's right.
All of that. And I always tell people, it's not a, hey, Mountain Dell sucks, it's terrible, never play their thing. It's more like, why would you play the inferior course when you can play one of the best courses we play regularly in Utah for the same price?
And what I think is amazing, you're paying $1,700 for Salt Lake City Golf Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't play morning weekend golf on the Salt Lake City Golf Pass. You can't book a tee time as a pass holder in Salt Lake City until 2:00 in the afternoon. At Canyons Golf, You have open availability to book. You get that great service, and you get resort-style golf at municipal prices. I love it.
How hot did you say it was going to be today?
99.
So 2 p.m. tee time, right? No, we're not doing that.
But you can go play at Canyons Golf.
That's right.
Hook it up, Canyons Golf. And you know the best part about being a pass holder at Canyons Golf, which both of us are, they have member tournaments every month. They have member events. I mean, it's just everything you want. Canyons Golf, the official golf club of the Monty program.
Hey, Monty.
All right, let's get your comments in here. OG Gary, the resident LSU, Michigan, Arizona. And I could be wrong. I believe the Wenatchee, Washington Technical Institute Bandits.
Don't you know who I am?
He's I think he's also a casual. I think he's a BYU fan as well.
Right.
But he says, I wouldn't say undefeated about Utah. We.
See, this is what I'm talking about. What do you mean we?
We almost always lose that one winnable game. I would love to see 0 in the loss column again. Been too long. TOO, too long. Well done. But have lost hope in that because of how we lose that one game.
Yeah, but why have you been losing that one game, Gary? Stop being a fan for 2 seconds and actually look at your team.
Brant Keithy should be tight end 1 in the draft. He should be.
Why have you been losing that one-off game? Because I agree, you have been losing the game you shouldn't be losing. Well, because you've been injured, dude.
Bro, we got a pig farmer at quarterback, dude.
Holy crap, dude.
Hey, Monty. Monty, pig farmer at quarterback, bro.
Damn.
Shut up.
Stay healthy, and you won't lose that game you shouldn't lose.
And Utah's got depth in the quarterback room. Michael Smith.
Mike.
Not sure how Utah's secondary looks this season yet. Losing Vaki and Bishop. Yeah. It makes a difference, Mike. Yeah. But again, I simply say I look at this defense. Your biggest losses, in my opinion, are Cole Bishop and Joan Atlas. You have substantial replacements for them in-house. Logan Fano, if you don't know that name, Logan Fano is a guy you should be watching.
100%.
Because and again, much like several other dudes on this roster, he's got to stay healthy. And you should have the best defense in the Big 12. Now, I mean, the other question is Dorian Singer a legitimate, be excited about kind of guy? He's a big play wide receiver, but he's bounced around the Pac-12.
Yeah.
USC, obviously Arizona. I mean, all Pac-12 for Arizona, that's great. I'd really like to see them build this offense. Obviously, Cam Rising and Brant Keithy. Jaquindon Jackson, is this a guy that breaks out? Much like Ollie Gordon did last year. Jaquindon Jackson has the talent. And my question is, does he put himself with Ollie, Brooks at Texas Tech, Jackson at Utah?
Right.
That's what I think. That's one of the biggest questions about the Utah football team. And we'll find out. But yeah, I think as I said, I think you're spot on with that. Calford, they just need College game day to stay away from Sac Lake City. They do. No more.
I'm not ready yet for Pat drama on game day. I got to be honest with you.
Big Daddy Magic Mike Smith is a genius. No anti-BYU comment from you today.
Just give it some time.
Kay Nurin says, good morning. Everyone hit the like button. Yes, please. Yasin Cowboy. Okay. I have Utah going 11-1 and upsetting big programs in the new Big 12, in the new 12-team playoff. It's going to be fascinating to see if Utah wins this conference. How far can Utah go? Because and let's be honest, we can romanticize the Utah Utes. Oh, well, we had quarterback injuries and this guy and that guy, and that's why we didn't win the Rose Bowl. If Cam Rising had been healthy, well, those excuses are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
How far can this team go if it gets in the college football playoff?
I think that question is 100% determined by the draw, who you get. Because I think if they can get, if you're getting Big Ten teams, like let's say you pull Oregon or something, or you pull, you pull a team that you're relatively familiar with, obviously they have a better shot. But I think that, just like anybody else, if they're gonna pull, if Utah's an 8 seed in the playoff or a 7 seed, and you're playing that 3-4 look or that 2 seed,
Right.
A good team that potentially could have been the number 1 seed, but maybe, had this or had that. That, your chances aren't as good. And I think, if we took anything away from the Ohio State Rose Bowl game, is that Utah was in that game. Utah's defense, because I remember the hype was, Ohio State's offense and everything's awesome and they're going to run right through the Utes and yada, yada, yada. Big Ten smash mouth football. And all we saw out of that game before Cam Rising left the game injured was the Utah Utes were essentially shutting down Ohio State, and we're just trying to figure it out on offense, as they usually do with any other game. So I don't have any doubt that Utah's defense can stop pretty much anybody, because Kyle Whittingham is a defensive genius, and the way he goes about putting a scheme together to stop an offense, that's been one of the most reliable things we have in college football. You say, hey, what are reliable trends in college football nationally? Yeah, Kyle Whittingham's got one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the country. We know that. So can they beat?
Always.
Can they make progress and have success in a 12-team college football playoff format? Yeah, I think they can have success. But I think, how many college football playoff games can they play is just 100% determined by the caliber team you draw in the first round.
I think every week that you're undefeated in this league, the microscope, and this isn't any league, I mean, probably with the exception of the SEC, every week that Ohio State's undefeated with this new roster and this new offense, expectations have to go up.
Yep.
But that's not the same kind of fire and microscope you're going to get if Oak State's undefeated or if Utah's undefeated, because nobody's going to be paying attention. Again, as you said earlier, it's the AP soccer writer that is going to vote on the Big 12, right? Like, I think it's different because the expectations are so much less everywhere but the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares if Utah's undefeated until they're 7, 8, 9-0. I think once that happens, then people will start to be like, hey, Utah,
And once we get into the college football playoff voting and those rankings come out, obviously that's a whole different deal. But if Utah is 8-0 in October, if Kansas is undefeated in October,
that's great for the Big 12, man. The Big 12 needs that.
If Tech is undefeated, like, because I put a lot of, and again, Texas Tech fan, God bless you. We've had some debates in the YouTube comment section this week about my expectations for Joey McGuire, because they're through the roof. And I think if you're in Lubbock, pew, pew. If you're in Lubbock and your expectations for Joey McGuire are not through the roof, what are you doing? I think they should be through the roof. If you lose to Washington State on the Palouse, just fire the guy. Don't even bring your ass back to Texas. Don't even put him on the plane.
Yeah. What call are we? What play are we going to call on the goal line this year to lose that game?
If you do not come away from the October 19th game in Waco against 8-Ball undefeated, don't even come back to Lubbock. Don't even do it.
Dude, I think if you're undefeated headed to Baylor and you lose that game, you should be embarrassed.
And furthermore, if we're being really honest, right? You have a quarterback, you've got offense, you've got one of the best running backs in the conference, you've got a really solid defense. If we're not talking about an undefeated Tech team going to November and to Ames on November 2nd, probably going to be a little disappointed.
I mean, this is at most on this schedule right here. You should have 3 losses at most.
At most.
Like, I would say.
Are you kidding me?
The only games that I say are true, like, hey, yeah, probably, yeah, it's going to be tough, would be Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Those two are the only two where you're like, hey, yeah, those are going to be tough.
And let's see how you lose those games if you lose those games.
If you lose them. But look at the rest of the schedule, though. Like, you're telling me you can't go on the road, I believe that is, and beat Arizona or beat up on Baylor or like.
But the TCU game's going to be tough. I have expectations for Mr. Dykes in Fort Worth.
As you should. As you should. It feels like a season where they would bounce back a bit. You know, like last year was pretty rough for them.
Do not let me down. Mom, don't do it.
But do you guys see what I mean when we're going through these teams and these schedules? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the Big 12 has a lot of potential for to have a much better year as a conference. Like, there's a lot of potential for aggressive losing. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of potential for aggressive winning. I think that if the mid tier of this conference is blue blood brands, like,
who's the biggest disappointment? Ooh.
I think Tech has that potential. I hate to say that, but I do think that it is a boom or bust situation for Joey McGuire at Tech.
I think if you're going to talk about disappointments, go to the top of the table. Who will disappoint? Okay, that's a different conversation. Bust potential, Utah, Oak State, Kansas State. Who will be disappointing? It's got to be one of the Texas schools. Mm-hmm. I don't expect much out of 8 Ball.
No.
That's
at
why
Baylor.
I
can't say it's disappointing because I just don't expect them to do anything.
Dude, Sonny Dykes has got to win at TCU. The state of Texas has to be good.
Yeah.
I think a year from now, Willie Fritz will be having a different conversation, but I have no expectations for Houston. I think they could be the surprise.
Could BYU be that team potentially? Because I feel like
it's disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I feel like people don't expect them to be in the conference championship conversation, but I think 7 wins for BYU is that's a reasonable. I feel like that's a reasonable conversation. Yeah. Yeah.
7 wins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Southern Illinois. SMU's the best team in the country, right?
They're
ranked number 1.
They're back.
Oh yeah, SMU's back. It says Dallas on their jersey. Well,
Monty, you said that Texas has the power of the state, so come on.
If BYU starts 6-0, and I know, Monty, you're drinking the blue Kool-Aid, you fat fucking Mormon.
You're in Utah. This is a Big 12 show now. You hate the SEC.
Southern Illinois. The Salukis.
Dub.
At SMU.
Win.
Laramie.
Loss.
They're going to lose at Wyoming?
Yeah, that's a loss. What time is the game?
7 o'clock. September 14th on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They're 3-0. K-State.
Loss.
In Provo.
It's a loss, dude.
No, it's not. That's a win.
Come on.
8 Ball in Waco.
Dub.
Fighting Fafitas in Provo.
Win.
Stoolwater in Provo.
Win.
Did you just say they're going to beat Oklahoma?
Well, but again, time of day. That's a late-ass game.
It is a 9:15 Central kick.
I mean, that's not great playing conditions for Oklahoma State.
I will be somewhat disappointed if they lose any of their first 3 games, and I'd be a little disappointed if they weren't 6-0. I have massive expectations for Jake Retzloff. 5,000 yards, 35, 40
do
touchdowns.
They have the receivers for that, though, man?
Fuck, yes, they do.
I don't know.
They have receivers and tight ends. They have an offensive line.
I know they have them, but I don't know that they hit like
2 words. 2 words. Cody Epps.
Yeah. Well,
3 letters.
I've been saying it for 3 years.
I know.
Dude. I love the
3
kid,
letters. NFL. Live up to the expectation, Cody.
I love them.
Live up to the expectation.
Yeah.
It's what it comes down to. I would be somewhat disappointed if they were not 6-0. You have to say they're going to lose to Oak State. You have to.
Dude, I just look at this differently. We're a little different on this. And here's why I say this. Like, if you just look at wins, loss, yeah, sure, they should lose to Oklahoma State. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But you look at the time of day, you look at where they're playing, look at when they're playing, right? So if you're correct, and they come out and they're on fire to start the season, they're rolling into that game with a ton of momentum. At that point, if you're whatever they would be 6-0 heading into the Oak State game, I think it is, or 7-0, like 6-0. you would be cruising.
The only thing I point out is they beat Arkansas. Okay, Arkansas shit. Should have beat Kansas.
Right.
They were in that game.
Yeah.
They beat Texas Tech. They should have beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they should have beat Oklahoma State and Stillwater.
So
they tend to be in big games. BYU tends to be in big games. And I'm telling you, my guy, the Retzinator, I want 6-0. And that should be the expectation.
But if you compare this season's schedule to what you just said, if they are last year's team, but another season better, and everything we've heard about Jake and that offense and Cody Epps and that, like everything that Jake has said, and I get it, he's a quarterback. What else would you expect him to say for all the haters? Okay, cool, fine. But you can't deny that they will be better. So if they're better, I would expect them at home, night game, middle of the season. I would expect you to beat them, dude, at home. Like, you should beat Oklahoma State at home if we're looking at it reasonably. If you're that team and you're starting out 6-0, the K-State game is the one that I'm not as confident in. That's the one where I'm like, hey, if K-State's living up to the hype, that's going to be a really tough game to win.
I am. The only thing that worries me is the miles that you are putting on the tires to travel this team this year.
Wow.
Dallas, Laramie, Waco, Orlando, and Tempe. That's a lot of flipping miles.
Orlando's the tough one there. That's a long-ass flight.
But this team needs to be 6-0.
Yeah. And then the back half of their schedule. See, and this is my
It's
point.
a ball break. The Oklahoma State, at UCF, at Utah, Kansas, at Arizona State. That's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
That is a tough stretch.
So even if you are 6-0, this is my point. When our original question was, hey, who's going to be disappointing or who's got the bust potential? Let's say they are 6-0. At that point, in the middle of the season, you're 6-0. BYU fans going to be telling you they're a 10-win team. And I'm going to be telling you, okay, great, you're 6-0. You're going to fight your ass off to win 2 more games the rest of the way. So if BYU is 8-3, that's a massive step forward.
Shout out to Lonnie Johnson, our newest member on YouTube. Sorry to wake
Lonnie.
you. Lonnie also gives us $2 to say good morning from Northeast Kansas and go Big 12. Thank you. Jim Roma Dunze gives us $2 just for talking football. James Stadium Guy and Oak State Homer.
I haven't read the comment yet. I can't see comments when
James the Stadium Guy and Oak State Homer.
This is going to say we've got 20 of 23 back. Mike Gundy is mid, but we should be in the championship game.
Stay hard.
I'm picking Utah to beat Oak State in week 4. Then Oak State beats
the hell out of here.
Then
dude.
Oak State beats Utah in the rematch at the Big 12 title game. Big 12 will have 2 teams in the college football playoff, Oak State and Utah.
Cool.
Again, I don't personally, I don't do ayahuasca this early in the morning. It's
Yummy.
It's just not the way I operate, but I applaud you for exploring your
Your mentals.
This early in the morning. Jim.
Yeah, I can't. Bro, I appreciate the take. Thank you.
I appreciate the take too.
Buy some Milwaukee tools for your dad while you're at it.
Patrick Boren, hello. 3-4 defense best for stopping air raid. We'll see. Oak State James says Andy Staples thinks Michigan will be in the playoff. He's high. Maybe he's right. Rick Forster, hello. Mr. Clean will be fired after this season. You mean should have been fired after last season, but you're correct. Big Daddy Magic. Jake, boy, I am picking BYU basketball to win the Big 12.
Okay, stay with us, dude. We're not talking basketball here. We're talking football. Stay with us.
UW fan Jim, wait, I hate the Ducks, but Utah does not want to see them in early in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. For a team like Utah, it all depends on who you get in that first game. If you're getting Ole Miss in the first game, good luck. If you're getting, Ohio State, let's say, if you're getting, SC, I think I was looking at the overall schedules like that came out. And I think it's USC and LSU week 1 or whatever it is. Like, we got some big boy games.
I think it is one of those things where and again, I could be wrong. Everybody's got big boy games, right?
Yeah.
But I just look at the way that BYU's roster breaks down, the depth that they have. I expect BYU to run the football. They need to be. It's fine. Damian Fowler, Jake, didn't Ohio State receivers have one of the greatest Rose Bowl games of all time? Yeah, but Utah was in a shootout, and the pig farmer almost won that game.
Yeah,
it wasn't a hell of an entertaining game. I will say that, Damian. That was a great game.
Yeah, my point with the Utah Ohio State game was in the first half when Cam was healthy and things were going. That was a very tight game. Like that was not a 2020 first half game. That was a very tight game.
The dude that abides. Michigan fan here agrees with you, James. Too many question marks in the starting positions pretty much across the entire offense besides tight end. What do you mean? What did I lose?
What did we miss here?
I think that you're probably talking about Michigan. I just think that Sharon's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of noise that hasn't even come out yet. It's June 12th. Right? Like I just think there's a lot of noise that we've yet to hear.
Yeah.
Patrick says Utah has a good schedule this coming year. Expect them to be contenders easily. Dave Aranda's press conference can cure insomnia. It can. Mike Smith, yes, Michigan lost so much offense and so many damn good players on D in the draft. And Jim Harbaugh's a very good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, we have had a lot of loud, angry discussions on this show about Dad Bod God. But when he took his khakis to Los Angeles, you lost a lot of good coaching there.
And by the way, I am excited about what that team's doing.
San Diego?
Yeah.
That plays in Los Angeles at the Rams house?
Yeah, might want to get your own building.
Utah probably not 9-0 come Oak State. Utah probably not 9-0 come Oak State. Oak State's early in the season. What do you mean? What do you mean, man? I think that Utah, here's Utah's schedule. Southern Utah, Baylor, Aggie Tears, Oak State. I think they're 4-0.
Yeah.
Arizona at Arizona State, TCU at Houston, 8-0. BYU at Colorado, Iowa State, 11-0. I think they're going to lose to UCF. If they're 11-0 going to Orlando, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of it. Yeah. I think they're going to beat Oak State.
Man, that's tough though, because you never know. It's going to really depend on who they're competing with in the playoff for seeding purposes. So if they have a reason to beat UCF, then you'll be fine. But if it's just hey, we need to take a week off with our starters type game, obviously you're probably losing that game.
Well, and I think it helps. The bye is week 1 of October. You know, you've got Arizona at home on the 28th, and then you don't play until the 11th of October in Tampa. And you give Kyle Whittingham 2 weeks to prepare for anybody, he's probably winning that game.
Yeah.
I like them to be an 11-win team. I think that should be the expectation. That's just me. But it is what it is, right? Janet Reno agrees. Okay. Waco is always hard.
Stay hard.
Okay. Waco's not always hard. Dave Aranda should have been fired.
Yeah, that's why Utah went to Waco last year and beat them without a quarterback.
It's inexcusable. In my opinion, it is inexcusable, the malfeasance happening in Waco in the football department.
I mean, you're talking about Utah going down there and beating them at their place, basically running, speed option the whole game.
But think about this. Do you guys not understand this picture? Drew almost left to take the Kentucky job. And you have 8-Ball as your head coach. Do you understand what a disaster? If Drew had taken that job, do you know what a disaster that would have been for Baylor? Because you're only standing on business with basketball.
Yeah.
And you blamed Grimy for that offense. Dave Aranda's what's wrong with that football program. And the fact that Baylor did not fire him is inexcusable in our current climate of college football. It's inexcusable. It's unthinkable that you let that guy keep his job at Baylor. It's flipping Baylor.
Yeah.
I expect more from Baylor. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe my expectations are completely out of line. I expect Baylor to compete for a conference championship every year, only they never do. And I expect more. And I expect that you would do everything you can do to win every game. And that would have meant firing Dave Aranda, and you didn't do that. You blamed everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's that is stuck in my craw. It is stuck in my craw.
Yep.
You should have fired him. You know what I mean? Like, it just is. Yeah. WTF Crap says, don't dismiss Okie State. I don't.
Not dismissing them. What I'm saying is that I think that they have very high potential to only win like
7 games.
7.
I think the low end, because Mike Gundy is a very good regular season head coach. Another way they look at it. Their 7 wins are South Dakota, Arkansas, Tulsa, West Virginia, Baylor, Arizona State,
Colorado.
I want to say at Colorado.
Yeah.
All things being equal, everybody's healthy. Those are their 7 wins. Right there. Do they beat Utah? I have a hard time saying that because I think Utah is phenomenally stacked on defense to handle Ollie Gordon. And what we've learned is if you stop Ollie Gordon, Alan Bowman's a bitch.
Yep.
I mean, that can't
what I meant to say was that he's just kind of mid and everything. But
if you stop Ollie Gordon, I don't believe that Alan Bowman can beat you.
It is what it is.
I don't believe Alan Bowman can beat you. And he's going to be your guy. Because you don't have the courage to go and get somebody better. Because, that's right, you don't use the transfer portal. Except to get Alan Bowman.
Well, Monty.
Do you beat Utah? Let's see you beat Utah. That's 8. You're not going to Manhattan the next week. You're not going there and winning. And then the question is, how big are your bulls in Provo? I'm telling you, that game, October 18th in Provo, is you better be paying attention if you're a Cowboy fan. Because you're going to have some real fortitude to do Utah at K-State, West Virginia at BYU.
That is a tough stretch, bro.
And then you get a break before you go to Baylor.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I just think that's something that game in Provo is critically important. It might be, and I know you guys are going to say, Monty, you're just being spectacular.
Drinking the blue Kool-Aid, Monty.
BYU and Oak State might be Oak State's game of the year. And I don't know how you.
Yeah, could be.
That's what I'm saying. Dude that abides. Sorry, Monty. Not trying to toss Michigan talking to the Big 12 chat. No, I mean, listen, I know that I'm a 50-year-old fat Mormon who's dying soon, according to the comment section. But I never mind ripping on Michigan.
Yeah.
Right. As a Notre Dame fan, the singular reason that I want Notre Dame in the Big Ten is so that we can beat Michigan every year. I mean, it's an auto win.
That'd be America's team.
It's an auto win. I think we all know that. Mayor McCluskey.
Wow. Holy crap, dude.
Bro, when are we golfing, Mayor McCluskey?
Yeah, dude. You want to golf this weekend?
Yeah, why don't you come up to Canyons golf
play
with
for
us
free,
this
dude.
weekend? I think Utah is stacked at sucking. I mean, I've never heard it put that way.
What are you, nuts?
But okay.
I think Utah is stacked at sucking.
Mayor McCluskey says, I want to go golfing.
Let's go then.
But come out this weekend.
Well, Monty, I got big meetings this weekend, or I got to go to school.
Wait, don't you have the car? What the Hyundai SUV? Oh my God!
Oh, the Telluride.
The Telluride. How's that recall working for you, bud?
Whoever came up with that shit need to be fired.
If you're new to the show, Mayor McCluskey is one of the OGs.
A goat.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
He paid cash because, that's
goat.
who he is.
Right.
For a Telluride And as soon as he bought it, they issued like the wheels started falling off of Tellurides. And the funny thing is you'd just be driving down the street and like your kid's seat would fall out the back window.
Because it's garbage.
And people were trying to figure out, well, what,
See, what had happened was,
no, but there's a big recall on Tellurides.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny, you know how I thought about you, Mayor McCluskey. I did. I'm busy watching Alex Caruso highlights trying to prevent my Telluride from starting on fire. Oh, let's go. That's so good.
No,
that
bro,
is so good.
Seriously, you should come up with us.
Yeah, would love to see you again. We had a great time golfing last year. John Dry, hello. The Jones will be intimidating the new 4 schools to play at. Well, I think you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Bowman has Owens, Presley, and Stribling at wide receiver. Gordon won't have to run it all the time. Okay. Okay. Chrissy, we will see if Cam Rising is healthy because he isn't a very good, accurate downfield thrower. Now you're just trolling. He's just an athlete with a short intermediate throws to tight ends. And
you're uneducated. Next comment.
Yeah, dude. You're completely wrong.
Yeah,
I've probably watched an unhealthy amount of Cam Rising football, and if Cam Rising's your quarterback, you're in every game, no matter who you are. You're in every game. Big Daddy Magic. Utah will handle Okie State. It will know bitch slap heard round the world. Okay. Cam Harrison, hello. OG Gary, Oak State, BYU could be a good game. Playing at elevation won't be easy. 950 feet for stool water versus 4550 in Provo.
Provo.
I don't care what anybody says. If you're going to go to Provo at night, you're going to lose. It's going to be unless you break Taysom Hill's ankle, a la the Aggie tears, you're going to lose. That's a tough the BYU. And I say this, in my opinion, Rice-Eccles Stadium is the most unknown, best home field advantage in the country. Nobody understands what that place is like at night in a big game. And I've seen it so many times until Kalen Clay dropped the ball at the 1-yard line. They were beating. They were beating Oregon,
dude.
They're beating USC. Like that is a Rice-Eccles Stadium is built for you to go into Rice-Eccles Stadium and just die a slow, painful death. And I am telling you, apparently we're calling it Provo now. The Lavelle is not far behind that. You come to Provo, it's USC going to the Palouse on a Friday night and losing.
To die.
That's what Friday night football in the mountains is about. And why? I don't know. And I understand that Brett Yormark wants Wednesday, Friday, Saturday games. I think that's coming. But I would not be sending Oklahoma State to Provo on a Friday night.
Yeah. I
would not be putting them in that spot. Utah is a great football game. As long as Cam is healthy, they are a college football playoff team. I still think this is one of the best comments of the day. My Telluride from starting on fire. Let's see. Dude that abides. Now, hang on. Ya boy.
Yeah, boy.
Marcus has to get all 11 guys on the field first. Got to cover the fundamentals before you can make it to the champs. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, our mother.
This is all conjecture. How many guys are going to blow a toe out in the opening game? Or
who are you, John Rahm?
Oak State. We got to talk about that. Stupid autocorrect. I said Utah is a great football team. I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I know what you meant, man. Ferris Khan, 1,656 days since Michigan cheated, and we still haven't beat Ohio State. That's an interesting way to put that.
Yeah, dude.
James, I like Rice-Eccles a lot. Well, thankfully, the stadium guru likes.
Well, Monty,
I was worried.
The Mormon glizzies up on the hill are actually really good. I liked them a lot. They were juicy and moist. And everything was awesome.
Had to throw moist in there, didn't you? Mayor McCluskey, I'll slip into your DMs. I'm serious about joining you golfing. Energy drinks and protein cookies on me.
Do it.
Hey, man, what's the name of the cookies?
Yeah, social media.
Complete cookie.
Complete cookies are amazing.
Yeah.
Give you a little gas, But Rick Forrester, Utah versus Houston is not going to be an easy game for Utah.
Nope.
Willie Fritz doesn't know what an easy game for his opponent is.
No.
It doesn't. Deb MC, that Iowa State game in Provo last night was the suckest bunch of suck that I've ever sucked. Okay.
Sounds like a lot of sucking's happening.
Okay. Utah is done what the ape drape in Oak State hasn't done. Picked up a casual QB in the transfer portal.
The ape drape.
All I can tell you is the Utah quarterback room is as good as it's been. I don't think Kyle Whittingham's ever had this much talent in that room at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm giving Heward credit. He has not performed when he's been given the opportunity at the major college level.
Yeah.
Kid can sling the rock. But obviously Isaac Wilson has to prevail, but I think he will. And he will.
And he will every single time.
We'll see. Dakota. I've heard Provo has the best roller glizzies. Only Jake would know. OG
Scott.
Gary, Dakota, they soak them in holy fluids. Stop.
Dude, stop.
We're
bro.
not doing hot dogs down a hallway.
Monty, it's they're blessed glizzies,
We're not. Did you not hear what I said?
Macaque.
We're not doing hot dogs down a hallway here.
Macaque.
That's not what this show is about. Well,
That's bullshit.
Yeah, because it kind of is. What?
The cock.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I'm sad that Utah won't have the chance to be preseason Pac-12 champs for the third.
Bruh.
Trolling. They're preseason Big 12 champs. That's so bad. Welcome back, Mayor. I miss you. Boston Mapes. Well, James, it's time for Ollie to sell more vacuums. Go blue to 7 or 8 wins.
Vacuums are my thing.
How many? Michigan's going to have a precipitous fall off.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that could save Michigan fan this year is a mighty disappointment from Lloyd Carr in Columbus.
Right.
If the Bucks fall, it don't even matter if Michigan goes winless. If Chip Kelly's fat face does not get the job done in Columbus, oh my God. The despair.
Yeah.
Bring back Urban. I love his sports bar and his hand
sorry.
on her ass.
Who?
Pervin Liar.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You. Yes.
Can you imagine if Ohio State busts out this year? Furthermore, can you imagine Dan Lanning winning the Big Ten championship?
Dan?
Him and that arrogant, smug face of his.
Yes.
Winning the Big Ten championship. This is what we do. This is why I didn't go to Tuscaloosa. Can you imagine?
That's what they do.
If Dan, oh my God. Because everybody hates Oregon, right? Like,
yeah.
I think we're all unified on that front.
I started to have more respect for them after, they started beating some good teams late in the season.
Can you imagine if Dan Lanning and that punchable face wins the Big Ten? Oh my God.
Well, I told you I should have stayed at Oregon and not gone to Alabama. Told you.
That would be. How does Ryan Day survive the season? Oh my! Can you?
If Oregon year 1 wins the Big Ten,
oh my
God, you have to fire Ryan Day. You have to, you just
on
have to.
Somebody has to take the fall
on premise alone.
Somebody has to take
and
the
it
fall.
Won't be fat ass Chip Kelly. That's not going to be who takes the fall.
Here's Ohio State's schedule, and again, I just say. Dan Lanning's punchable face at Oregon on October 12th with Chip Kelly. Here's their schedule. Akron, Western Directional Michigan. Marshall.
Directional Michigan.
At the School of Learned Doctors, Michigan State. That's probably too much.
Are you the real Michigan?
Are you the real Michigan? Iowa at the Shoe, at Oregon, Nebraska at the shoe, at Pedo State.
Oh, yeah. Shower Olympics, man.
Purdue, boiler up, at Northwestern, shower car
Dude,
wash.
that's a tough schedule, bro.
Indiana, and then, of course, the big game. Do they go undefeated?
Dude, at Penn?
Pedo. Do they go undefeated? Do they go to Happy Ending Valley on November 2nd and win? You better.
Dude, that's one of your best phrases ever, dude.
What?
Happy Ending Valley.
Listen, and the Fighting Sandusky's are...
Hold on, bro. Like...
The list is endless. Mayor McCluskey, I think you need to fire Ryan Day anyway. Ohio State fans hates that dude. They do. If you guys.
Dude. Bro.
Do you let him come back? Do you allow him to visit the Nike store before the game, or do you make him beat Oregon before you're like, okay, we can head to Beaverton?
Bruh.
If he loses to Oregon, oh my God.
Yeah.
The panic. No stickers on the helmets for you pricks. Right? Like no stickers that week. Ferris Khan. Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon will go 1v1. No, I'm telling you, bro.
Don't. He's a Michigan fan. It's fine. They're delusional.
OG Gary, the battle of the the versus Oregon State. Amazing. If Oregon beats Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, they would both end up in the college football. They wouldn't. I don't believe they would. And yeah, is that? I don't even know that with. I love Jed Fish. I'm a huge Jed Fish fan.
Right.
Washington's going to take a step back, right? I don't know what SC is. Just being completely transparent, because I'm tired of reading the fucking previews about how good they are, and then Lincoln goes all Oklahoma on us.
Me?
Well, USC is going to be a top
God.
3 team in the country. They're going to win everything.
They
Can't even beat Tulane, man.
That's right. USC's defense is back. No, it's not.
Monty, they got all these kids from Texas.
No, it's not. It's not back. Dakota, look out for those Penn State pedo Panthers. Exactly. Boss Frog. Well, the whole gang is here.
Let's go, baby.
The whole gang is here now. Hello, gentlemen. Just here to listen to my good friend J28.
What's up, dude? How you been? You seem busy lately.
Did you close on the house yet?
Yeah. What's the deal with the house, dude?
Let's go. When are we having the housewarming party? Dev MC, we are Penn State. Let's ride. Literally, the D. What? They're a defensive stalwart.
Yeah.
Are you bleeding everywhere?
Yeah.
Boss Frog shows up and Jake all of a sudden is gushing out his face.
Yeah, I get emotional, dude.
Rick Forster says Penn State sucks.
They
no, not anymore. Oh, you mean in football? Oh, my bad.
Just continue. We're gutting it out over here.
We're gutting it out over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it sucks.
At least we know you're not pregnant.
I just try to stand strong.
Hey, two holes.
Penn State team meeting in the shower room right now. Boston Mapes, are you sure, Gary? How about the tropical punch to cover all of your fandoms? Wow.
Damn.
Okay. The Pac-12 teams are good. Their commissioner has to take his shoes off to court to the okay. Big Daddy Magic.
Here we go.
Hey, player, please pray the Utes get Ducks in college playoff. They real pushed me off last year. Okay, spell check is real.
Victor's the way.
Daniel Dixon, if Iowa knocks off Ohio State, be laughing my ass off again. How much leash does Ryan Day have?
Not much.
I think very little.
Not much, dude.
Very little. Damian Fowler, who gets fired first, Franklin or Day? Neither.
Oh, it'll be Ryan Day. It'll be Ryan Day.
They've spent a ton of money. They're not. I think they're very good, but we'll see. Monty owes a ribeye. Are the Jazz hiring Kevin Young if Will Hardy experiment doesn't work out?
So now it's the Will Hardy experiment. We've devolved into that.
I have some Jazz stuff, but I'm not today. Maybe tomorrow. Probably not. Are you off on Friday? Or are you gonna
Maybe.
are you done ovulating out of your face?
Dude.
What are we doing?
It really hit me.
I'm not one to let stuff go. We're not off. We're off the last week of the month.
You're off.
I'm off.
Right.
I'm going to Hawaii to play golf.
I'm so bricked up right now.
You're going to Kansas City to procreate.
Yeah.
I'm going to. We'll be off the last week of June. James, as long as Franklin wins 10 games, he won't be fired. He's a lot like Mac Brown. Okay. I'm not a James Franklin fan. Mike Smith, the Big Ten Conference of Perverts. See East Lansing. Exactly right. Autocorrect, and that vape pen is a mother. Exactly right. Big Daddy Magic on the vape pen. Ryan Day is the Telluride of college football now. Do you guys remember during the period where everybody got stuck in the arm?
Where Jim was recruiting.
The coronavirus.
When the Tellurides were like going like hotcakes and we couldn't even keep them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Jen Rosati is releasing statements on Caitlin Clark now. I'm so tired of people ripping Caitlin Clark. She's not good enough to be on that team. It
is what it is.
She's not good enough to be on that team. I fully agree. Stop talking about her.
That's what fucking ticks me to fuck off.
The USA Selection Committee Chair, Jen Rosati, told the Associated Press it would be irresponsible of us to talk about Caitlin Clark in a way other than how she would impact the play of the team. Yet in a meeting, you said you were worried about her rabid fans being pissed she wasn't getting playing time. Stop talking about Caitlin Clark.
Who are you, Arch Manning?
You're not. She should be on the team, not because she's good enough, but because women's basketball needs her on the team.
Needs the eyeballs.
Like, all these people ripping Caitlin Clark is stupidity. Like, what are we doing? Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark not being on the team. Do you think you're helping? Diana Taurasi ripping her 3 weeks ago and then talking about what a good player she is and how the adjustment to the WNBA is tough. Stop talking, you hypocrite. Stop talking. Why isn't anybody pissed Angel Reese isn't on the team? Oh, because you're not Caitlin Clark. That's why. Oh I cannot believe they won't stop talking about her. Because it wasn't the purview of our committee to decide how many people would watch her, how many. Yes, it was. Okay. Oak State James. George Klyavkov needs help to call 911. Okay. Did you hit your head and all of a sudden? What do you know? Be careful, Jake. Bears can smell the menstruation.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
No. Don't get me started on the WNBA, Mayor
Excuse
McCluskey
me, it's
says.
just the W, please.
Can you call it what it is?
Yeah, the proper nomenclature is the W.
Not watchable most nights.
Okay, we got to get to some other stuff here. We're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Can we play this video of the bull running over?
Yeah, so this is a very America situation here.
So in Oregon, apparently they wanted to run with the bulls. They're bored. It's outside of football season. I just encourage you, listen to the song. Listen to the song in the background. Oh my God! First of all, it's good to see one for the good guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy the bull got out of the ring. Bummer for you, lady. This is at a local rodeo in Oregon.
The bunnies on the bull, though. Like, straight up, just right over the fence, no problem.
Why are you at the rodeo? Second of all, did you really have to play God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood? Did you not think that the bull was going to get pissed?
Dude, the bull heard that song and was like, yep, this is my time. It's my time. I'm ready. I've been preparing.
Look, obviously, that bull is not voting for Donald Trump with that song. That bull was, that's not Lee Greenwood. Anyway, the point is, what? Watch the hops on this bull. All right, yeah, I'll see y'all later. Oh, wow! And then watch what he does to this lady right here. All right, bye-bye. A ride, bro. My God. And then this poor son of a bitch. Like, you're just standing there. You're just standing there, and I'm guessing it's the rodeo, so you're probably drinking Keystone Light, right? That's just my guess. That
this
or
is not a Modelo event.
No, it's Keystone Light, or I don't know. You're probably some idiot that likes Hefeweizen. So you're probably like, oh, hey, can I get some Blue Moon? And then you're just getting lit up by a bull.
By the way,
you're over here probably, my guess is you're over there trying to figure out, if you're getting laid tonight, and all of a sudden you turn around and there's a bull.
Yeah, you're getting laid, all right.
You never thought that bull was coming for you.
Whoever came up with the name for this bull, oh God, here we go.
Fuck me.
Here we
Jerry
go.
West has died at the age of 86. Oh, wow.
Lakers are just going to have a week here.
He was, oh, that's too bad. Jerry West was one of the first people that when I got to the Lakers, working around the Lakers, he was one of the first people I spent a significant amount of time with, and was just fantastic. Jerry West is such a good dude and has dealt with so much in his personal life, and I think probably does not get the credit he deserves as the architect of the Lakers dynasties. I think does not get the credit he deserves for impacting the Clippers the way that he did. What a loss for the NBA. What a loss for the NBA. Jerry West dead at the age of 86 this morning. Man. So Phil Jackson gets hired by the Lakers. My first real job at the Lakers radio network way back in the day. Phil Jackson gets hired. Hey, Monty, here's a recorder and a telephone. Your only job is to make sure that Phil Jackson gets on this show today. Okay, great. No problem. Head down to the press conference. He does his press conference. He does all of the TV for the LA TV stations. And it's like 3 hours. For like 2 hours of that, Jerry West and I are just leaning up against a wall talking basketball. Talking about life. Hey, this is like talking to me about like, hey, what are you doing? How it was a phenomenal experience. Yes, I got Phil Jackson on the phone. But the win that day was being able to spend that time with Jerry West. The win that day was then forever forward because the Lakers go on this incredible run. Kobe, Shaq beating the Blazers, beating the Kings. Like, the win that day was that for the next like 2.5 seasons, every time I saw Jerry West, we fist bumped. And I vividly remember big games where after the game, we would just be standing out in the hallway outside the Lakers locker room. Like, and Jerry West would walk up and He's a guy, he'd like pat me on the back and walk into the locker room. Like he was just he was a guy that everybody thought was a red ass. But if you spent time and got to know him, Jerry West was quite a good dude. And it's a big loss. The logo has passed. Jerry West dead at the age of 86 this morning. Man.
Yep.
That's a bummer. Because he is an
icon.
And you look at the NBA and you look at, we lost Chet Walker this week. We lost Bill Walton last week, and now we lose Jerry West. Like, just how much death has happened like just the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, the guy is one of when you think about the NBA, the logo is Jerry West. That's his silhouette. That's it. That's incredible. NBA logo is Jerry West. Yes, indeed it is. Boston Mape says, rip to a true icon. Yep. Rip Jerry West, a.k.a. the logo. Man. Yeah, first Bill Walton, now West. What a sad time. Yeah, it's been rough. Glenn says, rip NBA logo. Yep. Maybe drop the Jazz news in the members only like you used to. I need to sure something up first, and then I will. Yeah, the old saying is it comes in threes. That bull is a damn patriot. Yes. All right, let's get back to the rodeo. The very fact that this bull's name is Party Bus.
It's just prancing.
I'm out. And then this lady has no idea what's coming. Watch this. Oh! And she's fine, by the way. The lady is fine. Like, how long before that bull hit her do you think she saw it coming?
Not long at all.
Because she really never even moved.
Yeah.
Oof.
Bull moves fast, dude.
Mark one down for the good guys, and they are not going to euthanize the bull, by the way. They are not putting that bull down.
Good.
Which I'm a huge fan of. I guess we'll save the John Rahm Pinky Toe for tomorrow. Yeah. The bull is never going to another rodeo. I would guess not. I would guess not. Can we also please talk about some glizzy slurping on the show, please? Joey Chestnut banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Right.
Because he formed a relationship with Impossible Burgers. And so Nathan's hot dog is pissed and they banned him from slurping glizzies.
Right.
Is Joey Chestnut a victim, Jake? Or is he now been rescued?
Joey Chestnut is trying to be a victim. And I'm saying you're not a victim. You knew what you were doing. You knew that this was a risk. You knew that you couldn't be the poster child for Nathan's hot dogs and be partnered with
you can't possibly believe that you can slam Impossible Burgers down your face and then think that there would be no impact on slurping glizzies.
Like, come on, dude. That's silly.
I want to understand why hot dog eating contests are a thing.
Because I think that when summer hits, people want to be outside and they want to go to like rodeos. They want to go to outdoor events. And the Nathan's hot dog eating contest has been a thing for the longest time. I don't even know how many years now.
Hey, I don't believe I've ever watched it.
Oh, it's disgusting to watch. But it just is like when you say America and hot dog eating contest, for some reason, those two go together.
But do you understand what you are doing when you are slurping those glizzies? Do you understand how bad those things are for you? It's wild to me that this is a thing where we're like, oh, he's a world champion. No, he's not. No, he's not. Like, this is not a thing. Is it easy? Can anybody do it? No, they can't. Is it a skill? Sure, I guess so. But this is not controversial. This is not a sport. This is, please.
I mean,
no.
I don't know, dude.
No.
I
don't
can
do
only
it.
ever eat like
don't
a hot dog and a half, dude. This guy's eating like 40 of them.
Great. Competitive eating is not a sport.
Okay, what defines a sport?
I'm not here for jam pig pee down your throat. Hey, look at these lips and ass off of that pig over there. think I'll just chop it up and cram it down my face. No, bro, I'm not cramming glizzies down my throat. I'm not doing that. And then being like, hey, pay me millions of dollars because I can cram processed meat into my colon.
Would you cram glizzies down your throat off a roller?
We've already talked about this. First of all,
come on.
First of all,
dude,
hot dogs are amazing and disgusting at the same time.
Yeah, they are.
Second of all, if you're cramming pig intestines down your face at like 100 at a clip,
dude,
you're not some hero.
Fat.
You are not an icon.
I'm a man.
In fact, what you are is an idiot. Again, way to go. I love cramming glizzies into my colon, said nobody ever.
I'm a carb-eating motherfucker.
Apparently. Oh, but Monty drinks the water and shoves the bread and eats the glizzy.
Well, Monty.
Don't well Monty me.
Dude.
This is exactly Monty-O's a ribeye. This will really hurt my hot dog eating contest fantasy team. Oh, sorry. Said nobody's colon ever. Thank you. Joey Chestnut, the real winner here is Joey Chestnut's colon, who won't have to deal with Nathan's glizzies anymore. Can you
imagine the dump dude takes the next day?
The real loser here is Joey Chestnut's cardiologist who just went out of business. Joey Chestnut is not a victim. Hot dog eating contest.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Fuck out of here with that. Like, no, it's a sport, bro. No, it's not.
Dude.
No, it's disgusting. That is gross. J2H is recruiting for the roller party. Exactly. Exactly. Mayor McCluskey, the real loser is toilet day 2. What does that even look like? What does that even look like?
Not good.
Nathan's needs to let Joey Chestnut compete and defend his title. There is no title. It's made up. Lopes fan game. This is an L for Nathan's, not Chestnut. Yeah, you saved his life and his colon. The real loser here is the manufacturer of colostomy bags who won't be strapped on his abdomen in 10 years. Just get it right.
Are you the real Nathan's hot dog?
Dude. Joey Chestnut's a hero. Okay.
But no one's going to disrespect me.
Hey, what are you known for? Well, I am a philanthropist and a scientist, and I created a cure for people gushing blood out of their face on talk shows. Like, I won the Nobel Peace Prize in nuclear physicists. Oh, how about you, sir? Oh, yeah, I slurp glizzies down my throat for a living.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Let me tell you, nobody crams. Like,
dude,
nobody
and the
crams
bun too, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Nobody crams like full white flour buns and processed meat into their colon like I do. I'm the best to ever pack my colon full of cancer-causing nitrates.
Just a stalwartness.
Tell me you're not constipated the next day.
You have to be, dude. I mean, because they get to drink lemonade or whatever that is while they eat all these glizzies.
Yes, thank you, OG Gary. So the throat goat is whining he got dropped for not swallowing meat.
Yeah.
You know.
What are you upset about, Joey? I can't slurp those glizzies straight down the pipe anymore.
I want more.
I've lost my gig throwing hot dogs down a hallway. Now what? Now what?
We've graduated to the fake meat Olympics.
Mike Smith, my boy says he can eat 50 eggs. He can eat 50 eggs. Yeah. Oh, guess what? Now I'm going to have to go to the National Egg Board and slam cholesterol down my colon. What's next? Oh, now I'm going to go straight to the teat and start slurping milk right off the cow's udder.
I want more.
Yeah, maybe you can have a date with Party Bus, dude.
Like, come on. You went to Impossible Burger. What? The Tofu Foundation wasn't hiring?
The Black Bean Burger Company wasn't hiring?
Are you kidding me right now?
The cauliflower crust
so
burger wasn't hiring?
Come on. Fat Jesus, Caitlin Clark and Joey Chestnut being denied their birthright. It's sad.
Okay,
exactly
first of all, Fat Jesus, it's Katie
Katie Clark,
so if you're
please.
gonna use a K, it's Katie Clark.
Please.
Thank you.
Charisse Armistead. Hot dogs are really good with ketchup and mustard on a hot dog.
Dude.
Stop.
Bro.
But hot dogs in a Frosty is epic, Maury says. Maury went to Wendy's yesterday and got the strawberry Frosty.
I put a video. We don't have it today. I'll get it.
Whatever. Monty's is a secret binge eater hiding in his basement with a roll of brawny paper towels in hand.
Right.
Do you not just go into the porta dumper and stick your finger down your throat after the contest is over?
Yeah, like, how do you practice doing this? Is it just like once a week you pound this many hot dogs? Is that how you get ramped up?
Let me start stretching my colon out. Why don't you come over? Like, what? What are you doing? I don't want to know what you're doing to prepare for the Nathan's hot dog slurping contest.
Bruh.
I don't know why this just hits differently. I hate the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Why?
Because, and listen.
Don't talk crap about my team.
And it might just be that I'm a Hebrew national, bro. But it's not like you're giving this guy a championship belt. Get the fuck out of here. Like,
dude, come on. Eating contests are an American pastime.
Yeah. Stand By Me. You guys remember the movie Stand By Me?
Mm-hmm.
You don't. The pie eating contest where dude was throwing up all over people. That's what I want to see Joey Chestnut do.
Bro.
I want to see him vomit Nathan's hot dog chunks all over spectators in the crowd at Coney Island.
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
Noel, what's the groupie situation in these hot dog eating contests like? Here, let me move this roll out of the way so you can be you. No, I don't want to know.
If you're going to a hot dog eating contest, are you enjoying one while you watch these guys pound like 50 of them?
You're not you're famous for taking glizzies, bro. That's what, like, hey, what do you put on your resume? I take glizzies.
I eat hot dogs.
I take glizzies better than anybody ever, anywhere, including Debbie from Dallas. Like, what are you doing?
Holden Middick.
How did you wind up here? Hey, what's your favorite hobby? Slurping glizzies.
Here I am.
Hey, what are you known for? Sucking down glizzies. Hey, what are you known for? Sticking glizzies in my colon. Better than anybody else.
What are we doing?
Joey Chestnut, you prick. Anyway, enjoy that. And hey, man, enjoy the Impossible Burgers because they're good. Monty, you can't say colon and come over in the same sentence. Sponsors get nervous. My bad. Calford, I think Pink's Hot Dogs has a hot dog named the Monty. They should.
The Monty.
They should. Thank you, Gary. Eating is not a sport. Kobayashi, exactly. Yeah, the Asian sensation who got banned from the hot dog
after
eating
he
contest.
got his ass beat by Joey.
No, never happened. Fat Jesus, true fact, the hot dogs resemble in his stomach and come out, reassemble in his stomach and come out whole.
Okay.
I didn't need that visual.
Okay.
Which is why we immediately moved to the best Costco food court item.
Well, it's the glizzy.
Here's where we get cray. So apparently Canadians are special kinds of people.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm not one to judge. Well, I kind of am. I'm not one to judge. But would you believe that Costco sells an item in Canada, that they do not sell in these United States of America.
No.
And it's hard to believe that Costco would do somebody who buys so many golf balls from them like this.
I love you like the fat kid loves cake.
If you're driving, put your hands at 10 and 2 because this is truly shocking. In Canada, they get tendies and fries.
Why are we not getting tendies and fries, dude? What?
In Costco, Canada, apparently they are sending up a test balloon of chicken tendies and fries at the Costco food court.
Okay, the only other thing they need to offer is ranch with this. We all know that.
Apparently, they are running them between $4 and $8, and people are slurping them down like glizzies in Joey Chestnut's colon. Probably a bad visual.
Bruh.
But apparently, they are a sensation in Canada, eh? Would you get tendies and fries
100%.
from Costco? You would.
100%. Yes, dude. 100%.
With a Cane's right down the street?
No, I'll take my $1.50.
Never
Nuggies
going
and
to
fries.
Cane's.
I think in America, where Costco, originated, I'm saying the chicken bake and the hot dog are the two best items.
I believe that we will win. I believe that
USA Soccer.
I believe that chicken tendies and fries will arrive on the scene.
Have to
in the United States of America.
In these United States.
I'm very curious. Chicken and fries would be such a hit in the United States.
100%.
I don't know why they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Why do you not have it? It's so frustrating. But how much should they be priced at? If you said, I'll give you an order of tendies and fries.
$3.
$3?
Yeah.
No. That chicken is so expensive.
Yeah, but it's not like hot dogs are cheap.
Has to be.
Right? Like, isn't the value proposition at Cafe 150 that it's below market?
Yeah, they lose money on the hot dog deal, which is a soda and a hot dog.
But they don't actually, like, on that transaction they do, but the studies have said that they make money, loads of money on those people because they come in, they eat lunch, then they shop.
Yes.
So it's,
I think if you marketed chicken tendies and fries, parents would flock to the food.
It would have to be less than $5 because everything on that menu is, if memory serves, I'd have to look again, but everything.
Okay, so $5.
Yeah, I think that would be the most.
Okay. What's your go-to item at Costco?
Chicken
burrito, bro.
Chicken bake, yeah. I love the chicken bake so much. It is so bomb every time.
I will occasionally eat a hot dog or 7. Well,
a glizzy.
A glizzy.
Oh, who are you, Nathan?
I'll slurp a glizzy at Costco about twice a year. The problem is, what are they known for? Like hot dogs and pizza.
Yeah.
But Costco pizza, and it is good, but do you guys understand they don't serve sausage pizza anymore? It is either cheese or pepperoni, and nobody likes pepperoni pizza.
No.
And the bigger issue is their cheese pizza is so greasy.
Yeah. Well, by the way, if you had their chocolate chip cookies are pretty good now too. That was a newer menu item they've rolled out. Yeah.
Did you have them?
Yeah. We've had them. You've had it.
It's not that chocolate chip cookie. It's a different chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, from the food court.
I've never had one.
Yeah, you just don't remember. We split one once in the car.
Well, then it was unmemorable. It was inexcused.
Right.
We didn't get to that today. I promise you we will rip Bobby Sala tomorrow.
Yeah, hey Bob. Nice vocabulary.
Yeah. Whoa. Nobody likes pepperoni. Nobody likes pepperoni. Well, Joey Chestnut does. Chicken bake is good. I agree with two rolls.
See,
now we've gone with 2 rolls.
Oh, okay. That's a roller reference.
Roller food.
Right.
I just wish they put the chicken bake on the roller. There you go.
Well done.
Delaric. They don't lose a lot of their hot dogs due to that they have their own dog factory. Correct.
Their own dog
factory. They get a really good deal from Hebrew National because that's who the dog is.
Macaque.
And they make their markup on those macaques.
On their services.
Yeah. Consider it a markup for our services. Their win is that you go in and you shop in the store.
Yeah.
And listen, if you just show up and eat their glizzies, okay. But they don't lose money on it in total at the end of the day. Costco Japan has burgers. Those are
okay.
good.
Now we're getting out of pocket.
Yeah. San Diego State Glenn, Mr. Pepperoni, nobody. Nobody likes pepperoni, Glenn. See, but Glenn, here's what you don't understand. It's the pro rata that you deserve. Pepperoni.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
Hey, how about the Holiday Bowl moving to Snapdragon next year?
Snapdragon.
Congratulations. Logan, you're wrong about pepperoni pizza and will always be wrong. No, I'm not, Logan. Nobody eats pepperoni.
Nah.
Nobody.
If you eat pepperoni pizza, you're the guy that throws hot sauce on his pizza too.
Don't start with this.
You know,
please.
You're the guy that thinks
you couldn't just leave two rolls alone.
Yeah, you're the guy that thinks a hot dog is a sandwich when clearly it's not. And you probably think that cereal is soup and there's only one hole in a straw.
Roller Boogie Boy.
Roller Boogie Boy.
Was the fecal matter crunchy, or did you just
Dude, I didn't have fecal matter, bro.
You ate off a roller. Yeah, you did.
Pardon me.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did it.
You eat food off a roller, it's got fecal matter on it. Sharice says, has anyone tried the Blizzard with brownie pieces at Dairy Queen? I don't eat at Dairy Queen.
I don't know what Dairy Queen is.
You know.
Well, Monty, I meant Dairy Queen. Well, it's not what you meant to say. It is what you said.
Yeah. Dev MC, pepperoni is the only type of
Get
pizza
the hell out of here, dude. No way. No way.
Dev? Dev? I need a Costco pineapple pizza. Now we're talking.
Let's ride.
John Hamm, love pepperoni pizza and red pepper flakes and Donato's sour cream. No.
Dude, I'm not putting sour cream on a pizza, bro.
Yeah, but will they bring the tendies in Mexico? The Costco food court has items they don't offer in other locations.
Right. That's why we're talking about this.
Dude, I won't, but you know. Pepperoni is for sandwiches. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, a pizza sandwich you could do. Pepperonis with jalapenos is fire.
Like a Telluride.
Pepperonis and jalapenos. Pepperoni is disgusting. They must not have good pepperoni pizza at the temple. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, it's a fat Mormon, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you ought to know.
Line in the movie Summer School when Harmon is going into jail and skates on, and the jail guy says, "Roller Boogie Boy," cracks me up. I love Summer School. It is such a good movie. Such a good movie. Love me some pepperoni pizza dipped in blue cheese. Stop
dude.
it. Stop. That's so
That was a
bad.
masterpiece of dog shit.
Yeah, that's no. The answer is
Garbo,
no.
bro.
The answer is pepperoni with blue cheese. Stop it.
If
I recall, I got a Costco hot dog after buying my Traeger grill.
See?
Exactly. Almost everyone likes pepperoni, and yet here are the Monties being the Monties. Hey, Monty. No, hey, Monty. Pepperoni is for communists.
Tubinsky, where are you at?
Tanner Plummer. Fun fact, did you guys know they have cafeterias at the LDS temples? I did not know this. Make sure you guys, did you guys know there's a like button on this channel? Hit the like button. And don't forget, our good friends at Milwaukee Tools partnering with us on the show today. The gifts your dads really want for Father's Day. They are linked below on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, hello, come on over to our YouTube channel. You'll see all of their cordless combo kits are linked below. They're on sale for Father's Day. Save $30 on an M18 cordless lithium-ion two tool combo kit.
Yeah.
Say that fast 100 times. Just $169. Also, by the way, the oscillating multi-tool is just $129. Click on the link below. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Thanks to our friends at Milwaukee Tools, celebrating 100 years. Here's to 100 more for Milwaukee Tools. And of course, the Monty Show, as always, is presented by our friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. You guys, they're partnering with the Road Home for the 20th year to provide school supplies for young people that are underprivileged trying to go to school. This Friday, we'll kick off Giving Friday by doing a big drive on Venmo for the Advocates. You can't make it Friday, that's okay. Hit the Advocates on Venmo. Advocates donations. Just put school supplies from the Monty Show. The Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the business. Chat with an injury attorney live online for free at theadvocates.com, because you never pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, J2 Rollers.
Goodbye, J2 Rollers.